everybody. Thanks for joining me. My name's Jenna. If you're new, welcome to Queen of Diamonds. I hope you'll stick around. I would love to have you here. For those of you returning, welcome back and thank you for continuing to tune in and support my channel. Tonight I am here with my weekly WIP and chat. I'm doing it a day early because of Thanksgiving. I wanted this to go up on Thanksgiving Day, so happy Thanksgiving to all of you. I hope you're all having a really good day. It's been a crazy few days. I feel like in some ways my WIP and chat from last week was just yesterday, and then other ways I feel like it was so long ago. Crazy. Just this past, I always say that my life has been crazy, I feel like, but it's been extra crazy. And I'll explain why when we start the WIP and chat. But I'm pretty exhausted. I'm pretty wiped out because I've just had a lot going on. I think we all do. And I'm not claiming that I have any more going on than anybody else. I just feel like everything is coming to a head with our family right now. But we're going to be okay. It'll be okay. I just have to keep repeating that over and over in my mind. And then sooner or later, I'll believe it. Anyway, happy Thanksgiving. I am truly grateful for all of you. And you can't possibly know how much joy this channel brings to me. So thank you to all of you for your support. And I hope you're all doing well. All right, let's get started. So today I am going to be working on a diamond painting for this WIP and chat. For those of you who are new, WIP stands for work in progress, and chat means we're just going to chat and catch up. Feel free to work on whatever kind of project you'd like. It doesn't have to be a diamond painting. You can just work on any craft or listen to this as a podcast. However you want to do it. It's totally up to you. Like I said, I'll be working on a diamond painting. I've been kind of switching things up the last few days. I have not had a lot of time to diamond paint, but when I have, I've dragged out different projects to do here and there. I haven't finished In Everything Give Thanks, which was my Thanksgiving project for the month. And as much as I would have loved to have worked on that tonight, I put it away and brought something else out because I've been doing a lot of square drill kits and I wanted to do a round drill kit. Last night I worked on Virgo for just a little while. I did one section, and then tonight I am working on a diamond painting from the one with the diamond art, and it is titled I Want to Fly Away, which is kind of the mindset I have right now. I want to fly away from everything. But we'll talk about that. I actually said that today. I just want to fly away on my broomstick like Alphaba. Anyway, don't mind me. I'm just really stressed out and really silly. If you saw my unboxing yesterday, I'm really just getting loopy. Anyway, all right, let me show you what we're working on, and I'll show you all of my accessories. I will switch your angle real quick so I can show you this diamond painting because it is clamped down to my desk, but, well, no, it's not clamped down, but it will be. This is I Want to Fly Away from the one with the diamond art by Finera. Isn't it cute? That little hedgie. I just think he's so cute. We are right here. This is the section we're going to be doing so that you can have a little better idea of where we're at, because once I change your angle, you'll just be looking directly down at this angle or at this section, and you won't be able to see it very well. So that is the project that we will be working on for the WIP and chat. I'm going to just go through my accessories real quick, and there we go. And I'll show you all of those. This is my WIP caddy from Black Dahlia Diamond Art. Even has my name on it and a fairy. I got it customized. These are great. They hold all of your supplies right in one place. You've got your release paper back here, your putty, and then there's this little stand right there for your washi tape, and a little ledge here that you can use kind of however you'd like. I put my wax on there. And then there's a pen holder right here. There's also a place to put your tray, which is awesome. Okay, let me just run through all of these things. So I will link Black Dahlia Diamond Art in the description box of the video. If you go to order anything from Black Dahlia, please don't forget to use code QUEEN10 to get your 10% off of your order. The putty I am going to be using in my multi-placer is from Creations Morin, and it is Autumn Pear, which smells phenomenal. I love that. And the wax I'm using in my single placer is from Randa's Crafty Corner. It is the hard and sticky wax, And this is Falling Leaves, which also smells really good. My washi tape is from Simply Gilded, and it's just this really pretty washi. I think it's so pretty. My tray is from Firefly, and this is the Ignite edition or model. And it has a sliding lid, which is really nice. There's also a little corner here that you can use for trash drills. I don't use Firefly near enough. I need to get some more Firefly trays because I really do like them. Okay, my release paper is from Bee's Crafty Corner, and this is the Vibrant Leaves, which is really pretty for fall and this Thanksgiving Day. And my pen, okay, this pen is a new one that I got from Bistro Exclusives, and I didn't unbox it on the channel, but it is so pretty. This is Diamond Painting is My Therapy. Isn't that cute? And it has all of these really pretty round drills down here as decoration. It's got a rhinestone kind of belt loop thing right there. I don't know what you call those, but they always remind me of belts. It's so pretty, and look, the back looks like that. Isn't that gorgeous? I love that pen. And my multi-placer is from Diamond Art Club, and don't mind that. We're gonna take out that putty because it's quite old. My tweezers are the Diamond Art Club angled tweezers. My trinket tray is from Kuko Crafts, which has closed, but I got this last fall. It's so pretty. I really like that tray. And my trash pot is from Sparkling Nana, aka Rebecca. I think that's really pretty, so I just wanted to use it again. I got this to go with another one of my kits, but it goes with anything fall, really. And then my cover minder is this cute little hedgehog from Galloway's Gallery. Those are all of my supplies. I think I am ready to change your angle and we'll get started. Before I change your angle, do you want to see something? So last week in my Whip and Chat, I had mentioned that we were going to Wicked and that I was going to be getting a bubble bowl of popcorn, like a Glinda bubble. Well, they didn't have them. So bummed out. That was a different theater. But look what I did get for my popcorn. Now, it doesn't hold a lot of popcorn, obviously. And I didn't even put popcorn in it because I wanted to wash it out before I used it. But I had to have it because it's a memento. It's a memory. And it's really quite cool. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that because I put a clip at the end of us after we were at Wicked. Yeah, it wasn't during. And I mean, not during the movie, obviously, but while we were out. It was after the movie, and I forgot to include the popcorn thing, but I wanted to follow up because I was so disappointed. I really wanted the bubble, but that's cool too, so I'll take that. Anyway, all right, I'm going to change your angle and we'll get started on the Whip and Chat. I forgot to mention how I am storing the drills for I Want to Fly Away. Sorry, I know that's a really close up, but this is a cute little piggy case that I got off of Amazon, and it holds 60 of these screw-on top bottles. So that is how I have the drills stored for this kit. All right, let me tell you the stats about this diamond painting because I didn't even do that. I told you the artist and the title of it, but this is a 50 by 50 centimeter round drill kit. And it's so pretty. I started this October 1st, and I haven't even had this out at all, very much anyway. And I just think it's so pretty. And it's kind of got a little bit of a fall vibe, kind of. Anyway, we're going to say it does for the sake of my sanity. I really did plan on working on In Everything Give Thanks. But like I said, I had pulled out Virgo yesterday, and it was so nice to work on a round drill kit, and I almost just kept Virgo out and worked on that, but I decided to bring out this one because I haven't given it very much time since I started it. So before I peel the release paper back for that section, I'm going to load up my pen with the putty and the wax. I need to clean out my single placer end because I haven't used this pen for a little bit. And I don't know how old that wax is, so I'm going to just clean that out. Okay, the putty first, and we're going to put the putty in the multi-placer. It smells so good. I really love the smell. I haven't even used this yet, but it smells amazing. And you just press down into the putty with your multi-placer like you're cutting cookies with the cookie cutter. And I'm going to give it a second go because that first time I don't think it filled it all the way up. And the reason I am giving it a second go is because if you just do it one time, yeah, I'm going to press down again because that kind of peeled out. All right. It's not usually this much of a struggle, but I feel like everything right now is a struggle for me. So let's pull that down. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to put that putty back in there like so. And we'll put that back in there to keep it nice and fresh. And then here is my wax for the single placer, which also smells really good. Falling Leaves. I really like Randa's Crafty Corners hard and sticky wax. It just seems to work really well for me because I'm a firm presser, and so I've had really good luck with this hard and sticky. Okay, that's done. My pen is all ready to go. I'm going to add a little more washi. I use washi tape to get my multi-placers to fit very snugly into my pen, because sometimes when you order a pen, a customized pen, the release paper, oh my gosh, I'm all over the place, aren't I? The multi-placer will not fit snugly into your pen. So you just want to use washi tape. Some people hot glue them, whatever you choose to use, but I'm just going to use washi tape. I use washi tape most of the time. I just don't have enough multi-placers to hot glue into all of my pens. Okay. There we go. That is secure now. Okay. And then I'm going to put my tweezers on this little trinket tray, and I'll peel back this release paper, and then I've got to turn on my light board, and we'll be ready to go. Okay. My canvas is lifting just a little bit, but I think I've got it clamped down, but I'm just going to move my clamps real fast so that it's down a little better. Okay, there we go. All right. Oh, wow. What a week. What a week. What a week. Turn on my light board. Okay. Don't mind the background noise if you hear my daughters arguing. It's just getting a little intense around here and stressful, but we're going to be okay. All right, so my first symbol down here in the bottom right-hand corner is just one E, and I don't see any more E's anywhere. So I'm just going to put one E in my tray, and then we'll move on to the next symbol that will have more. Okay. We'll just pop that little guy right in there. And then we've got the number 9. And I only see a few of those, but let me grab that. I'm just going to breathe for a minute, and then I'll be ready to start. Oh my gosh, what a week. Okay, I have some things to fill you in on and kind of update you on what's been going on in my life since my last WIP and Chat, which is silly because, like I said, my WIP and Chat was just on, well, you saw it on Friday. I filmed it on Thursday. But I feel like since that WIP and Chat, I've just had so little happen, but also so much. I don't know how else to explain it. Okay, oh, there. I thought I was seeing another number 9 somewhere. And it looks like that might be it. Okay. I might zoom you in a little bit more so you can see a little better. I think that's better. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to go through my week and kind of give you a rundown of what I've been up to, and then we'll go from there. But let's see. So I recorded that on Thursday night. Oh my gosh, this was funny. So if you noticed in my last week's WIP and Chat, I did You know how I always do those candids at the end? Well, I did a candid of us going dumpster diving, and that was actually right after I recorded my WIP and chat. So what happened is my mom had bought me some new glasses on Friday or Thursday, sorry, on Thursday. And I used my new pair. She bought me 3. And well, she bought me 2 and I bought 1. Sorry, not that that's relevant, but it kind of is. So I had worn 1 pair of the glasses for the WIP and chat. Well, after my WIP and chat was all done, I went to find the bag that had the rest of the glasses in them, and I couldn't find the bag anywhere. And I had just told the girls to take the garbage out, and we had a couple of grocery shopping bags with garbage in them right by the front door. So I said, make sure you take those grocery bags that are by the front door. Well, then I started thinking about it as I'm looking around the house for that bag from Barnes & Noble, because she bought me readers. I love readers. And I'm like, did you guys see a Barnes & Noble bag by the front door? And then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, did you guys throw away my Barnes & Noble bag? And they're like, well, we don't know what bags. You just said to take the bags that were by the front door. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So we went running out to the dumpster, and luckily they were right on top. But I thought I was still missing stuff when we were headed back to the apartment. I was looking through the bag, and I'm like, I don't think everything is in here. So we then went back to the dumpster, and I looked for it again. And anyway, long story short, I was able to recover everything from that little incident. So everything's good. My glasses were not broken. Everything was fine. But oh my gosh, I was not going to lose out, because this brand of readers are called Peepers. And I don't know if they have those everywhere, but they're not cheap for readers. I mean, readers in general are pretty cheap, but these are not your average readers. These are actually a little bit of a higher quality. And I was just so devastated. So there was no way I was going to lose those if I could help it. So that's why we went back and looked for those glasses. I was so glad we found them. Anyway, so that was the dumpster diving. I didn't even explain it afterwards. I was like, oh, I didn't really explain what had happened, but yeah, that was the reason for the dumpster diving. But we did recover everything, luckily. Let's see. So that was on Thursday night late. Friday, we went to see Wicked. That was my mom, Sid, me, Kennedy, and Sydney. Allie could not go because she had to work while we went. And when Kennedy scheduled Wicked, she kind of just forgot about Allie's work schedule. And so Allie wasn't able to go, which was a bummer, but she has seen it now, so it's okay. She's all caught up with the Wicked situation. Anyway, Wicked was really good. If you haven't seen it yet, you'll have to let me know your thoughts about it. I really liked it. I've read mixed reviews about it. Some people have liked it. Some people really hated it. I liked it. I mean, I really like their casting. I thought that the actresses who played Glinda and Alphaba were amazing. Their voices are awesome. I didn't like a couple of the songs that they did that were from the Broadway musical. I feel like they didn't really, they didn't perform them as well as I had hoped, because I'm used to the original cast. So before you hate on me, just remember, because I don't want anybody to hate on me for saying that, just remember that I was an avid listener to the Broadway musical, or the soundtrack from the Broadway musical before the movie came out. And so my liking of the music is somewhat skewed because I really like the original, and I loved the original women who played Alphaba and Glinda. So I try to not be, I realize that. So I try to keep an open mind. But yeah, a couple of the songs, I was like, yeah, I liked the originals better. But in the first movie, I liked some of the songs just as much as I did the Broadway musical. But it was good. Loved it. Drooled over Fiyero as normal. And I thought that Jeff Goldblum did an amazing job as the wizard. I thought he was just amazing. So all in all, I thought it was a really good show. And I don't know who plays Miss Morrible. Or Madame Morrible. I can't remember her name, but she was awesome. I really like her. Let's see. So we went to Wicked, and after Wicked, I had to just work a little bit longer. And then I went home, and Sydney and I decided to go out on a date because Allie was with her friends, and it was just the two of us here. So I haven't really spent a lot of time out and about with Sydney, like on a date like that. So I'm just going to plug my phone in. I don't want my phone to die while I'm recording, because that has happened too often. I'm just going to plug that in. Okay. Anyway, so Sydney and I decided to go on a date, and we had a really good time. We went to this really cool restaurant called Zhao. And I don't know if you guys have those where you're located, but Zhao is kind of like a, I want to say it's Chinese. It's just so good, but you can choose different sauces. But we got yellow curry, which we usually do, but they have a teriyaki that's really good too. And then I think that's all of my H's. Is it really? Some of these colors are so close together that it's hard to keep track of what color I need. I'm probably going to run into that symbol again before too long. I'm probably not seeing all of them. Anyway, then we went and got cookies from a cookie place called Crumble. And there will be candids of this at the end, because I just took shots of the food and the cookies. Their cookies are amazing. Crumble, really good cookies, like gourmet cookies. And I'm not even I love pastries, but I think I'm just kind of tired of cookies, maybe. I don't know. I'm not really a big cookie person, but I do like the cookies from these. We've got a few different cookie places here in Utah that make really amazing cookies. I don't know how many of them are locally owned. Crumble might be one that's locally owned. I can't remember for sure, but it's good. And then we came back home, and I was going to watch a movie with her, but she just wanted to go to bed. So we came back home, and I diamond painted for just a little bit, and I thought, well, I'll get a lot of diamond painting in tomorrow, so I'm not going to worry about it too much tonight. Yeah, well, I wish I would have diamond painted, because ever since Friday, well, we went to Wicked. Yeah, I mean, I just haven't diamond painted a whole lot since my WIP and chat on Thursday. I mean, it's just been chaotic. And I'm the type of person that if I don't diamond paint after so long, I start getting really anxious, because it is my anxiety cure. So if I don't diamond paint for long periods of time, that anxiety builds up. And Jenna and anxiety just don't do well together. I mean, do any of us do well with anxiety? I don't think so, but I just get really antsy, and my ADHD, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's ADHD. That is a self-diagnosis, just so you know. But I can't focus, and I just get so all over the place. And that's how I have felt ever since Thursday night. But needless to say, I could have diamond painted on Friday. I didn't. I chose to go to bed early because I knew that I was going to have an early day on Friday. And so I stayed up for a little while, I think talking to a friend of mine, and then I went to bed. And yeah. So then on Saturday, I got up, not super early, but I had to be over to work to help my mom for a little while. So I went to my mom and dad's house, and then I had my hair appointment, and I want to say Allie dropped me off and then Kennedy picked me up, I believe. So my hair appointment went well. Life is all good again. My hair is how I wanted it. So I'm grateful for that. And I really like this girl. I'd go back to her now because she did fix my hair and she did a really good job. And she, after we were done, she said, "Now, are you sure you're happy with this color?" And I said, "Yes, I am. This is what I wanted." And she said, "Oh, good." So she was really great. It was funny though, because she sat me down in the chair and she said, "Okay, I want to get your color right, so let's go fix it." And I said, "Can you show me a swatch of what you're going to do with my hair? Because we didn't go over swatches for the highlights last time. We just went over the dark brown and we didn't really talk about the highlights. Well, we talked about it, but she didn't show me like swatches of what highlights she was going to be doing." And she said, "Oh yeah, sure, you bet." So she brings out the swatches and she's showing me, and it's blonde. I said, "These are blonde. I'm trying to go red." And she goes, "Oh, let me see that picture again." So I showed it to her again. And she said, "So are you wanting like copper?" And I'm thinking to myself, call it whatever you want. Just do it red. So I was a little bit not off to a good start there for a minute, but she had me show her on the swatches what color I was talking about. And once we had them picked out, she said, "Okay, I get it. I see what we're doing." Okay, good, because I thought you did, I thought you did the other day, but I'm being mean. She was actually really nice, very sweet. I will probably go back to her again because in talking with her during both appointments, she was nice, but during the second appointment, especially, I just got to know her a little better and I really liked her. I like her personality, and she has a really cool kind of story, but it's not my story to share, so I won't share it, but she was really, really cool. I like her. So that was my hair appointment. Then I had to work from 1:30 to about 6:30. And my mom had asked me if I would work for her a little bit. And so I did. I was happy to do that for her. So Saturday, I did get some diamond painting time in while I was at work. That was nice because Sid didn't really want to do a whole lot. She was really tired that day. My mom had gotten her up early just to get her ready so that my dad would have time to get ready because they were going to lunch in Salt Lake with some friends. And so, well, my nephews actually, not friends, but anyway, so Sid and I just kind of hung out. She just wanted to watch TV. So I put on the TV for her and she was falling asleep. So I went over and diamond painted and let her sleep. And then, as a matter of fact, this was what happened on Saturday. Now it's coming back to me a little bit better. So Kennedy had said, "Aunt Sid, do you want to watch," what was the movie she wanted to watch with her? Meet the Robinsons. And my aunt said, "Yeah, I'll watch Meet the Robinsons." So Kennedy said, "Mom, I'll watch Meet the Robinsons with Sid so you can diamond paint." And I said, "Oh, thank you." So that's what had happened. But both Sid and Kennedy were asleep in their chairs in front of the TV pretty quickly. It was cute. So then after Meet the Robinsons was over, I asked Sid if she wanted to go up and have a snack, back upstairs, have a snack, or if, what she wanted to do. I had to take her to the bathroom at that point, but after we were done with that, she said, "I just want to go back downstairs in my chair." And I said, "Okay." So I took her back downstairs and I turned on a movie for her and Kennedy came out. I can't remember what movie it was, but Kennedy came out and said, "Oh my gosh, I love this show." And she again sat with her and watched it. So that time, neither of them slept. They actually sat and watched the show with them, with each other. It was cute. So that was Saturday in a nutshell. By the time I got home, I was pretty wiped out, and I can't remember what I did Saturday night, but I was, Saturday night, I went to, was that Saturday or Sunday? I'm pretty sure, yeah, it was Saturday. Saturday night, I went to a dinner party, and it was some friends of mine that I haven't seen for a long time were having a get-together. and asked me if I wanted to come over and say hi to everybody because, like I said, I haven't seen them for a very long time. So that was really fun because I got to go over there and hang out with them and visit. And I haven't seen a lot of them for a long, long time. So that was nice. That was on Saturday. And then Sunday, I cleaned and Allie and I went to the grocery store. Or did I go with Sydney? Oh my gosh, I can't remember. I think I may have gone with Sydney. Anyway, we went to the grocery store and took care of some errands, basically. And then I came back home. And after I cleaned, I did diamond paint just for a little bit on Sunday. But then what happened is Allie came home. And Allie said, Mom, we need to get our application in. And I said, I know, you're right. And she's like, you told me that the weekends are when people, I've got the yawns all of a sudden. I apologize. She said, you told everybody that the weekends are when everybody starts looking at places. So we really need to get our application or at least start it. And I said, well, I have started it. And she said, how far did you get? I said, I put everybody's names on the application and their dates of birth, but that's as far as I got. And she said, okay, well, let's get back in the application. And it had saved the information that I put in. And she said, let's start working on that. So we made a lot of headway on Sunday. We got most of Kennedy and Joel's information put in and all of ours. Well, then the Kennedy and Joel were in bed because Allie and I were working on it really late into the night. Well, they had gone to sleep because they both had to get up. Well, Kennedy didn't have to get up early, but Joel had to get up early. And so we just decided to call it a night because we still needed information from them. They were in bed. So Allie just said, I'm going to save the changes and you can pull this up tomorrow from Nana's on her computer. And I said, okay. So the next day, on Monday, I went to work and everything was going well. Work was going good. And I pulled up the application on my mom's computer at about noon. And when I pulled it up, there was no information on it. I mean, like, it was back to the names and dates of birth. We had spent 2 hours on that on the night before. So I called Allison, who hadn't gone to work yet, and I said, hey, I can't get the application up with all that information we put out yesterday. All it's bringing up is what I had originally saved, the names and dates of birth. And Allie said, well, maybe there's 2 different applications. Maybe I created one accidentally. Anyway, we troubleshooted on the phone for half an hour. And finally, Allie said, Mom, I've got to go to work, so I can't work on this right now. But she's like, that has to be there somewhere. It wasn't. We had to start all over. Luckily, a 2-hour-long process only took me an hour because we had all the information in text messages because we had already asked Kennedy and Joel for all the information. So it didn't take me quite as long, but it was a little bit frustrating because Allie was at work and Joel was at work. So anything in addition that I needed, I had to text them. And then, when you're at work, you can't always break away from what you're doing to answer texts. And so it takes time. And I understand that, but it just made the process a little frustrating because I'd be like, oh, okay, I got Allie's driver's license number. Cool. I'm going to enter that. Now I need her Social Security. And some of that stuff you don't know because the way they've got it set up on their website is you can't see the whole application on one page. You enter one piece of information, click continue. You enter the next piece of information, click continue. So it gets a little bit frustrating because you don't know what the next question is going to be. And you can't, if you click continue and you haven't got the current page filled in, it won't let you go forward. So for example, on my page, you have to, and everybody has their own pages. So on my page, and they're all the same, but just as an example, so I fill in my first name, click continue. My last name, click continue. My date of birth, click continue. But if I don't fill in my date of birth, I can't click continue. So I don't know what the next page is going to be. And because we had filled it out the night before, we did have some idea of what they were, but there were some I couldn't remember. And so I'd have to text, or if I didn't have them in a text from the night before, then I had to retext that person and say, okay, now I need this. And anyway, so I spent about an hour on it while I was there at work, while Sid was, when I would have been diamond painting, I instead worked on the application. So that was kind of monotonous. And then I finally got it all done. And I saw the click to save and continue. It was after we got everybody's personal information all entered. And it was frustrating because Kennedy was like, how far are you on this application process? And I said, I don't know. It won't tell me how far I am until I finish everybody's personal informations. And I say that plural because each of us had our own personal information page. So it is plural. But until I finished everybody's page, I couldn't click save and continue, which at that point would show me how far I was on the application. So once we got everybody's information in, I clicked save and continue, and it showed us at 20%. And I'm like, are you kidding me? What else is involved in this? So at that point, we called it a day because I had spent a lot of time on it and I was getting kind of frustrated. Plus, my mom was needing some help upstairs. So I just decided to call it good for the time being. And then I went back to it right before I left work to enter a couple of things that the kids had texted me. And so I was able to get a little bit farther, but not very much. So then after we worked on that for a while, like I said, I probably put another hour into the application on Monday. I went home and Allie called me. She gets off work at 6:00 and she called and said, hey, do you want me to just not go to my classes tonight and I can come and help you with the application? And I said, well, you can go to your classes. I don't want you to miss your classes. And she said, well, I'd really rather get our application in because I don't want to lose that house. And I said, okay, well, yeah, if you'll come home and help me with that application, that would be great. So she did. She didn't go to her night classes on Monday and came home and we sat and again worked on that application, and we worked on it for over 2 hours on Monday night. And by the time we clicked save and continue, we were at 40% complete. So I'm just going, oh my gosh, what in the world is going on with this application? When is it ever going to end? So anyway, on Monday, my mom took me and Kennedy and Sid and ran some errands. She had some things she wanted to get done and she wanted Kennedy and I to go with her. So we went. Kennedy really wanted some fruit. I don't know if you guys are familiar with like fruit dip, probably, but it's this really good dip that we make it with Cool Whip and cream cheese. And she was really wanting that. So we went and got her a fruit bowl and then we made the fruit dip. So that was good. But the rest of us got in and out. Kennedy doesn't love hamburgers, so she didn't want a hamburger. She wanted the fruit bowl. So we got her taken care of. Then we went and got in and out and brought it home. And right as we were getting ready to eat our in and out, my cousin texted me, and I'm good friends with him. He texted and said, hey, I'd like to come over and visit Uncle Myron, who is my dad. And he said, is he available? And I said, yeah, he's at home right now. Well, we got our in and out and brought it home, and we were just sitting down to eat, and he came over, my cousin. So he came in and sat. My mom offered him some food, and he's like, no, I just ate. But he sat and talked to us while we were eating, and he's just so sweet. He's such a cute kid. Now, the funny thing about this is his dad passed away. I think has it been a year? No, I don't think it's been quite a year, but his dad passed away not too long ago. And out of all my uncles, that are still living. His dad was probably the one that I'm the closest to, because he and my dad were the closest. And so I know him pretty well. And I used to babysit his kids because they were so much younger than me. So this one that came over to the house on Monday was one of the kids that I used to babysit, and I have not seen him for so long. Well, I saw him at the funeral, but I didn't really have a chance to talk to him very much at the funeral. So it was nice to be able to catch up with him and sit and visit. I think my dad really enjoyed the visit. We talked a lot about his dad and the brothers and how fun that all was, and the memories that we all have of spending time together and all of that. It was really fun. So I was grateful to visit with him. And then I ran over to Keith's for a minute because he had some things to give to me. One of which was that diamond painting that I unboxed last night, which is the Art by Julia mystery kit. I'm so excited. So that was on Monday. Then on Tuesday, we had, Monday. Okay, back to Monday. So Monday, we worked on that application some more, and we finally got far enough along after Allie and I worked on it for a long time on Sunday again. We worked on it again on Monday night, and we got far enough along that we were able to submit it. And that was a major accomplishment. And it took so much time. And we were, again, texting Kennedy and Joel. They were not together, or we would have called them. So we were texting with them, trying to get all of their information, which was like previous landlords, addresses, emails for the landlords, all of that. I mean, who has email addresses for their previous landlords? It's just crazy. But they won't let you continue until you have everything filled in. So you have to get that information and fill it in. And so we did all that. They had to have the previous landlord's phone number, email, and the previous address, all of that. I mean, that's normal, but the email and contact information for a previous landlord is crazy, because sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't. And most places used to be pretty lenient about that. Nope, not anymore. They want you to have all of that information. And so it was just a very time-consuming, excruciating process, but we got it all done, and I was very, very appreciative to Allie for all of the time that she spent helping me with that. So we got that done, and we submitted it, paid the fee and everything, got it all in. So we go to work I went to work on Tuesday, and I was feeling pretty good about life. I got the application in for that house. We're really excited about it. Oh, and the other piece of good news is there is an option to lease it so that you can put that rent money towards actually buying it if you choose to buy it, which is awesome. I mean, that's amazing. Unless we move into it and there's major problems with the house, I would most definitely be interested in buying it at this point. But we'll just see. That's the nice thing about leasing, is you can decide not to do it if you don't want to. But anyway, so we got that all filled in and turned in. That felt like a weight off of my shoulders for a moment, and I was so happy. Well, then on Tuesday, I go to work, and after I showered Sid and everything, I got her eating breakfast, I heard my email notification go off. And I have a different notification for my email than I do everything else. So I knew it was an email, and I thought, oh my gosh, I wonder if they're letting us know whether or not we got approved. So I dashed to my phone and looked at it, and it is the place, and they're saying, thank you for your application. We are beginning processing, but we have some things that we need further information about. So they had emailed us what they needed, additional information. And some of it was information that they needed from Joel. And he was at work, and he was working until 7:00 at night because he just started this job. He's training, and he just doesn't have a lot of time on his hands. So some of that was a little bit out of our control, but the stuff that was within our control, we took care of on our end and got emailed back to them. So we thought we had everything all squared away. So that was on Tuesday. And then the other thing that happened on Tuesday is we have mice again. We thought we were done with the mice, but nope, we're not.
So Tuesday morning when I got to work, I went downstairs to diamond paint because nobody was awake yet. And I was sitting down there diamond painting. The house was all quiet and I had my AirPods on, which most of the time I do early in the morning when everyone is still sleeping. So I was just diamond painting away, listening to my AirPods. Well, my AirPods, I was listening to an audiobook and it came to the end of a chapter and it was getting ready to start a new chapter. Well, there was a little bit of empty space on my AirPods for a few moments, and I heard the scratching sound, and the hair on the back of my neck just stood straight up. And I turned and looked, and it was one of the traps, the box traps, that has poison in it. And it was moving a little bit because there was a mouse in it. And the mouse was scratching, trying desperately to get out. Well, oh my gosh. It startled me so bad. I don't know why, because I knew it couldn't get out, but it did something to me that startled me. So I went upstairs, and about that time my mom was getting up, and I told her about it, and she said, well, it'll die. It's poisoned at this point, which I knew. Yeah, it is. But anyway, I showered Sid, got all that done, went downstairs. That thing was still scratching around. So I just decided to diamond paint a little bit. Sid was playing a game with my dad, and I was diamond painting, and that thing was off and on, still scratching. It was getting a little more quiet, like it was probably just coming towards the end of its life from the poison. And I had my feet up on like a little footrest. And as I was diamond painting, I saw this mouse run right under my feet. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, we still have mice running around here. So I hollered up to my mom and I'm like, we've got mice. The mice are not gone yet. And I did not have Fallon with me on this particular morning. He had wanted to stay home, and Allie was planning on bringing him on her way to work, which is usually the case if he stays home in the morning. Allie will bring him when she goes to work because she drives right by my mom and dad's house to go to work. So I think that Fallon helps keep the mice away because he is loud and he runs around. And I think they don't like the movement, right? They don't like the noise and everything. So I think they kind of stay hidden when he's there. So I was like, bring Fallon here as soon as possible because I don't want these mice running out. The main thing that I'm worried about is I'm worried I'm going to step on them when I'm walking to and from different rooms in the downstairs. I definitely don't want to be stepping on them. And they just come out of the blue, So that one just dashed right under my feet and went into that, right under that bookshelf that's behind me when I'm filming from work. So anyway, I didn't diamond paint a whole lot that day. And after that, I was just kind of like, I don't mind being down there when I know the mice are there. I mean, it's kind of not scary, but startling. And anyway, at that point, I went upstairs and what were we doing on Tuesday at work? Oh, we were getting ready to take my aunt to her kidney specialist. So we went to the kidney specialist, and the kidney specialist, Sid is doing okay. She's still at the same stage that she's been at, and he wants us to start considering dialysis. She doesn't need it right now, but if that is the route we choose to take, he wants us to just start educating ourselves about it and start contemplating whether or not we would go that route. I don't know. I mean, my mom's thinking about it right now, but it would be very hard on her, on my aunt. So that is something that we are, it's not something we need to make a decision about right now because she's not at the stage where she needs dialysis right now. And she has actually stayed stable at the level that she's at with her kidney function for quite a while. So the specialist said, nothing has changed. She's still the same. Let's just play it out for a little longer. He wants her back in 3 months for a follow-up. But he said, for now, just start thinking about dialysis and if that's a route you want to go. She's not eligible for a kidney transplant just because of all of her health issues. So she would probably have to do dialysis if that's something that she could handle, which we don't know. It's just something we don't know. So that's something that my mom is kind of contemplating. But, like the doctor said, it's not something she needs to make a decision about right now, just something she needs to start thinking about. So the appointment went well for the most part. Then we came home, and at that point, Allie had brought Fallon, and Fallon was running around the house just like we knew he would be. And after that, we did not see any more mice, so that was good. And then I came home on Tuesday, and I looked in my email because it had been such a busy day. I had not even checked my email again. There was another email from the application office, and they said, we are missing information on Jennifer and Allie and Kennedy and Joel. And I'm like, what the heck? What could they possibly be missing? I filled in everything. But there was a couple of things that, like we had typed in Joel's, well, he had sent it to me incorrectly. Joel's previous landlord's email address was sent incorrectly. We figured that out because I looked back at the text that he had sent and it wasn't correct to begin with. So we corrected that. And then they had emailed, let's see. Anyway, there were just some things that needed to be fixed, and we fixed them. Then we stayed up late again on Tuesday night trying to get all of that done, because what our goal was is we just wanted to make sure everything was done and complete so that we didn't have to worry about it anymore. But it seems like every time we sent an email with the missing information, they came back with us with more missing information. And we've just been playing the go round with them. They almost yanked us completely from the application process. And this is the craziest thing. So they came back and said on, this was on Monday, they sent us an email first that said, so we sent our application in on Sunday night, got it all finalized, paid the fee, all of that. Well, on Monday, they sent me a message saying that we had been denied because we didn't have enough people in our household that were related. And I'm like, what? So I emailed them back and I said, I'm not sure I understand. All of us are related except for Joel. And they came back and said, but you all have different last names. And I'm like, oh, okay, let me explain the situation. So I actually called and talked to them. And I said, these are all my daughters by blood. But I said, we all have different last names because of marriages and divorces. But I'm like, we are all blood related. And I said, the only one who's not is Joel. And he and my daughter are engaged. And so he is like family because they are going to be getting married. They're not officially engaged yet. Keep that in mind. But they're promised and they're pretty much engaged at this point. But anyway, they said, well, all of you have to be related to qualify for this particular property. And I said, what? What now? And I'm like, why? And they said that's just the specifications that this particular property has. And I said that all of us have to be related, even though they're engaged. And she said, yes, if they can get legally married and you can provide me proof of that, then we can proceed. And I said, well, they can't just run out and get married. And I'm like, they're engaged, but they can't just run off and get married to finish the application process. I mean, that's not going to happen right now. And she said, well, let me talk to my boss and see if we can figure something out since they're engaged and they are going to be family. How soon do you think they're going to be married? And I'm like, within a year, I suppose. And they said, okay, well, I'll present it that way to the homeowner and see what they say. Well, then they called back and said, okay, we can proceed. I'm like, okay. So anyway, we got that worked through. That was on Monday. Anyway, on Tuesday night, we stayed up late again, working on more information that they needed for us, and got that pretty much done. There's a couple of things now that we're hung up on. as of this morning, we got an email back saying that they needed more information about the pets. And because it's a holiday, the vet clinic was closed, so I couldn't get the information that they wanted. And I also discovered at the end of the email that they require all of the pets have their current vaccines. Well, Joel's dog just got fixed, so he is current on all of his vaccines, but our cat is not current on her vaccines, so we need to get her in. Hers just expired not too long ago, so we need to get her in for hers, and the others are current, but my female is not, and Fallon is not. And the reason he's not is I have an appointment for him to go into his vet for a follow-up on his heart the first week of December. But that's when I was just going to have them give him his rabies shot. He's current on everything else. It's just the rabies. But the problem that we're having that I'm going to have to talk to somebody about at the office for this application is they say that you can have a 2-day grace period to get the information to them. And if you don't have it to them in 2 days, they pull your application completely and you have to start over. And when the girl was telling me that, I said, whoa, you mean I would have to pay the application fee again and everything? And she said, yes. And I'm like, okay, well, we can't let that happen. Like, that cannot expire. I can't let that expire. And she said, yeah, just give us the information and email it. And so with that situation with Fallon, though, and now with the cat, I don't really know what I'm going to do, but I did come up with a plan. So I'll still take Fallon into his vet visit for his heart on the scheduled day. We'll keep that appointment. But our local pet store does do weekend vaccinations, and they just have somebody there at the pet store that does vaccines for animals. So I think what we're going to do is Friday, I will spend whatever amount of time I have to calling all the different pet stores to find out which pet store is going to have, because they alternate every month. Like 1 week out of the month, this one shop will have it. The next week out of the month, one down the in another city will have it. So I'm going to call around on Friday to find out where that vet bus is going to be for the upcoming Saturday. And then Saturday, we'll just have to take them in really quick, because if we don't have all the information that they need come Monday, then we're going to lose our application, and we can't let that happen. But it is literally at the point where the kids are like, why are we even doing this? Let's find another place. But I said, we are already invested in this place. We've already paid the money, and we are so close to being done. Like, we would have to start over. We'd have to find a new place, start from scratch with another rental agency, and go through all of this again. And I don't want to do that. I mean, we've already invested, I bet, 6 hours in this application, not to mention the financial investment that we've made. So I really need to just continue with this particular process. And we got to be getting to the end of it now. I did find out from a friend of mine that they are contacting our references, which I figured they would, because I put her down as a reference. So she called and said, just so you know, that rental place that you put me down as a reference for called me. And I'm like, did you give me a good reference? But I knew she would, obviously. But anyway, because I wouldn't have put her down if I didn't think she would have. But yeah, so that was fine. And then oh my gosh, I've lost my train of thought. Anyway, so that was that was yesterday. And then we got home and Allie and I were just kind of wiped out. So I said, I'm exhausted. Let's just watch Stranger Things, because the new season of Stranger Things started tonight, actually. And there were a couple of episodes that we wanted to brush up on that they said were important episodes for this new season. So we went back and watched a couple of those, and we really didn't even watch that much because we sat down to start them, and we got calls from Kennedy and Joel with questions about the application and what information they were needing and all of that. So anyway, it's just been one thing after another with that process. And, I think that we're getting really close, though. I hope. I can't imagine that there would be too much left that we're going to need to provide once we get the pets situation taken care of. But yeah. And then Joel needs to get his driver's license renewed because his driver's license is going to be expiring the first week of December. And we didn't even think that he needed, it's a current driver's license right now. It's not expired yet, but they want him to show a driver's license that will be good for the whole duration of the rental contract. So he needs to get that renewed. So he's doing that on Friday. Hopefully the DMV will be open on Friday. It's kind of funny that I was telling my mom this. When you're trying to get things done, it becomes a little bit frustrating because people close early the day before Thanksgiving. Places are closed on Thanksgiving, obviously. And then Black Friday, a lot of places are closed that are like the application place. The doctor's office is closed on Friday. Our vet, it will not be in the office on Friday. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, this has now become a 3-day event for Thanksgiving. But anyway, I mean, it's good. I'm glad that people can be with their families and stuff. That's important. It's just when you're trying to get things done, it gets a little frustrating. Anyway, so that's where we stand with that. We're really keeping our fingers crossed that we can get that place because especially now that I find out they offer a lease with an option to buy, oh my gosh, I would love to buy that house. Granted, if we get in there and there's a lot of problems, then obviously I could change my mind. And that's the beauty behind a lease. But if we, if we decide we like it, then our rent isn't just going towards a never-ending rent. It's actually going towards buying it, which is awesome. Oh, I only have one of those. So that's that. I'm feeling, I want to say I'm feeling confident about it, but I just want to get this application done. Get it off of our shoulders so we're not continuing to worry about that. Work today was chaotic. It was just one of those days where I felt like I couldn't get ahead of my life. I just was stressed out the whole day. But it is what it is. I mean, you're going to have days like that, obviously, where a lot of stress and a lot of just, oh my gosh, I'm tired, that kind of day. But it just seems like it's, it just seems like I've had a lot of those days clustered together and I just need a break. I would love to say that tomorrow will be a nice break, but I'm cooking Thanksgiving dinner, so it's not really going to be a break. I will be going over to my mom's house in the morning to shower my aunt and help them get ready for their trip up to my sister's house. But Allie and Sydney are going to be with their dad for Thanksgiving this year. They weren't with him last year, and that didn't even dawn on me when I was making plans for Thanksgiving. But and they didn't think about it either. We just thought we were going to be doing a big Thanksgiving dinner. Well, when Allie came to me and said, by the way, we're going with my dad for Thanksgiving, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess it's just me, Kennedy, and Joel for Thanksgiving then, which is fine. I'll have fun with that. We are doing ham, which is what we usually do for Thanksgiving. We did that last year, and it worked out a lot better than doing a turkey because my kids just never eat the turkey, and it just gets wasted. I don't know if you heard that, but I just had some noise coming from the guinea pig cage. So the turkey just gets wasted, and I don't want to see meat get wasted like that. So we will be doing ham, and we do this potato casserole that is so delicious. Here in Utah, they're called funeral potatoes, but they're shredded potatoes with cheese and cream of chicken soup and sour cream. And then you bake them like that. And then you put crushed up cornflakes on top, and they are so good. It's amazing. I love that casserole so much. So we will be doing that. Plus we do the green bean casserole and the sweet potato casserole. Of course, we got to have the staples. And last year I bought cherries for the ham, and I was the only one who ate the cherries, and most of the cherries got wasted. So I'm not doing cherries again this year. because I don't need to have the cherries. I do a really yummy glaze sauce on top of the ham, and I think that's why the cherries didn't get eaten last year. So we'll just go with the glaze ham. And then I'm making Kennedy's butterscotch pie. That is the tradition handed down from her family in Indiana. I've done that every year in honor of Kennedy's grandpa, who passed away a long time ago. But he was an amazing man, and I just have the greatest memories of him. And so we that's just a tradition that we do for, it's kind of Kennedy's heritage. So I like to incorporate that. So butterscotch pie is her thing. She eats it now, but she didn't eat it most of her life. There were a few times that I was like, okay, why am I even making this butterscotch pie? Kennedy is the one I'm making it for, and she doesn't even eat it. But my ex-husband really liked it. And he said, just keep making it. Someday she'll appreciate it. That was actually Keith. And so I've continued to make that butterscotch pie, and she finally did. He was right. She finally ate it, and she's like, this is good. And I said, this is because of your pap. He loved butterscotch pie, and he is the reason I made it. It's a cute story, which I believe I've shared before, but I'll share it again for those of you who didn't hear it. Kennedy's grandparents live in Indiana, and like I said, her grandpa passed away. But when I was married to her dad, he was living, and we were doing Thanksgiving. We were making plans for Thanksgiving, and my parents lived in Utah, so I wasn't going to be seeing my parents. We were going to spend Thanksgiving with his family. And I asked his mom if there was anything I could do or make for the Thanksgiving dinner. And she said, no, I think we're good. Well, his dad said, you could make me a butterscotch pie. And I was a brand new wife. I've never really cooked very much. And I said, okay, I'll make a butterscotch pie. I've never even heard of a butterscotch pie, but sure, I'll make it. So I Googled butterscotch pie recipes, and I just went with the first one that came up. And Kennedy's dad and I went and bought all the ingredients, and I was going to do a meringue because that's what the recipe called for. I never made a pie in my life, but I'm going to do a meringue. And that meringue shriveled up when I cooked it, and it was this big in the center of that pie. And I was so embarrassed, but we took it to the Thanksgiving dinner anyway because Kennedy's dad was like, well, they can just scrape off the meringue. No big deal. But take it because my dad will think it's really cool that you made it for him. So we took it, and bless his heart, her pap ate that pie. I mean, he ate like 3 slices of it, and he ate the meringue. He just thought it was the greatest thing. So that just stuck with me. I thought that was a really cute story, and I tell Kennedy that almost every year. But yeah, so I've continued making that, and it's gotten better and better over the years as I've gained more experience with it. But like I said, she just tried it for the first time about 4 years ago, and she was like, where has this been all my life? Well, right here, babe. It's been right here. I've been cooking it every year. But I'm not doing a homemade crust this year. No, I can't. I don't have the strength for that. So I just bought a Pillsbury dough crust. In fact, that's what I used last year, and we thought it was just as good or better than the crust that I was making from scratch. So we decided to just go that route again this year. I never really did get my crust down real well, but the butterscotch filling part, yeah, I got that down. That is good. We do a Southern recipe, and it is so good. It is really good. And I don't do a meringue anymore. We just do whipped cream, and it's delicious. So that actually the whipped cream kind of tames down the richness of it, but it's yummy. So we're going to be doing that, and stuffing. I know stuffing doesn't really go with ham, but Kennedy loves stuffing. That's like her favorite dish of Thanksgiving. So I've got to do stuffing for her, and my other kids like it too, but mostly Kennedy's the one who will eat the stuffing. The other girls love the sweet potato casserole and the green beans, but Kennedy is just after the green beans, the potatoes, and the stuffing. Those are her favorites with the ham. But my other girls will eat everything. They like all the dishes. So that'll be good. And even though they're not with me for Thanksgiving, we will have the leftovers, I decided. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue making everything like we were all going to be together, and then we'll have all the leftovers, because one of the things that kind of sucks about going to different family members every year is you don't get the leftovers. So I want my girls to have the leftovers. There will be plenty of those for sure. Other than that, let's see. Everybody's doing really well. The animals are all doing really well. I was a little worried about Fallon the other day because he was starting to kind of be a little bit lethargic and just not quite himself. But I realized it was a really cold day that day. And I think that just like all of us, he's affected by the cold. And I remember now that last year on the colder days, he just kind of stayed cuddled up. He's a little guy, you know, and he's a short-haired Yorkie. He doesn't have a lot of fur. So, you know, I put jackets on him, but I don't leave jackets or sweaters and stuff on him when he's around the house. So I think he does have a tendency to get chilled and maybe just wants to stay cuddled up, you know. And there's been a few mornings he hasn't wanted to go with me to work. He just wants to stay on Allie's bed, because I'll get up in the mornings. He sleeps with me every night, but I'll get up in the mornings and get in the shower. And there are mornings that while I'm in the shower, he'll go get in Allie's bed. But there are some mornings where once he gets in Allie's bed, he just doesn't want to get out. He just wants to be left alone. So, you know, I just leave him with Allie, and then she'll take him. Sydney is, we don't know really what's going on with Sydney right now with her schooling. She doesn't really even know. She's been trying to get enrolled in online because it's been really hard on her to be going to the school. Her anxiety has just been really high. So her dad, I've just kind of left that up to him because I'm dealing with a lot right now with everything else that's going on. And so her dad has just kind of been taking that on. And he told Sydney that she could that she could start doing online. That was good. And then he changed his mind because he started looking into it a little bit more, and he decided that he wanted her to go to the actual school that she's been going to the past few months. So right now we don't really know where that stands, but she's having a lot of anxiety about all of that. She went for part of the day on Tuesday. And then we checked her out. So anyway, but she's doing okay. I mean, she's still working, all of that. It's just the getting behind has caused her anxiety to peak a little bit. And now she's struggling. She's in that rut, you know, of being behind. And yeah, anyway. Let's see what else is going on. Not a lot. Mom and Dad are doing really good health-wise. And I think we're all just, you know, we're all just going to have some time next week to regroup from this whole application process, because I'm just getting really worn out. Allie had a really great idea today. She said, I think we should just enjoy Thanksgiving, enjoy Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday, and then really hit it on Monday and get right back to it. And she said, maybe if we give ourselves a little bit of space from the application process, when we get back to it, it will be, you know, we'll be mentally energized again. And I think that's a valid point. So I kind of like that plan. Anyway, hopefully we can, you know, like she said, take a few days to regroup and then get back to it again on Monday. There's really nothing we can do in the next few days anyway. So that's that. But oh, I love this house. I am so stoked for this house. It's just beautiful. It's just a beautiful home, and it would be so nice for us because there would just be enough space, and the way the rooms are all set up and everything, it'd just be awesome. So that is where we're at with that. And I'm hoping that in next week's WIP and Chat, I'll have some really good news about that. That would be great. We put in our notice here, so that is all done. And we found out that there are move-in fees at one place and move-out fees at the other place. So, oh my gosh, we're going to be all feed out. But I'm trying to not think about that right now. I just need to focus on getting through the getting through this weekend and getting some, getting my energy up a little bit. So I am really excited about Black Friday. Oh my gosh, so many cool sales are going to be going on. I know the sale is going to be going on at Ever After, and there are 30 new releases with them. I mean, there's new releases and sales everywhere, but the ones that I'm familiar with are Ever After sale and then Diamond Art Clubs. Of course, we don't know what the sale will be on Black Friday, but we know there's 111 new releases coming out. That is crazy town. But I've been watching those new releases, and I'd love to hear what your thoughts are about them so far. I think they're all just beautiful. I have to be really careful. I'm on a very strict budget right now because of the move and Fallon's health problems. So I won't be getting anything. I can't say that I won't be getting anything, but I won't be getting much. I just need to really be careful. So I've kind of got a little bit of a budget set for myself for Black Friday, and it's not much. It's a little discouraging, but hey, anything is better than nothing, right? So I should just be grateful for one thing. But I do have a pretty strict budget set up, and I'm hoping that I'll stick to it. I have to stick to it. I have no choice, because if I don't stick to it, then we possibly won't move, and that can't be the... we can't have that. But I did need to give myself a little bit of play money for Black Friday. But it won't be much. So that's okay. That's okay with me. I've got a big stash, so I can shop my stash. I'm totally 100% okay with that. I have a lot of diamond paintings in my stash that I'm looking forward to working on. I have all my diamond paintings for December, but, I've been giving some thought to January, and I've got a lot of things I can use, so... I've got a lot of new releases that I bought when they were new releases that I haven't even thought of yet. And I need to get back to those, I need to give everything some thought. I've got to finish my mystery kit so I can start my new Art by Julia mystery kit. I'm so excited about that. So anyway, I don't know if I'm going to have a finish for the month of November because we are at the tail end now. I mean, tomorrow's Thanksgiving. I'm probably not going to do a whole lot of diamond painting tomorrow. And then we've got Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, which doesn't give me a lot of time because my aunt will be going up with my parents to Midway, where my sister lives. So I will not be working on Thursday other than showering my aunt in the morning. That's just a short period of time compared to the whole day, right? So I'll still owe like 7 hours. And I'll have to work on Saturday to make that up. That will be my 4th Saturday in a row of working. I start getting a little bit overwhelmed when I don't have my Saturday and Sunday. But it's just been the way it is. So on Saturday I'll work. Have to work Friday. I don't get Black Friday off. So I'll be working Friday and Saturday, and then I'll have Sunday off. But Sunday is the last day of the month. So we'll see. I mean, it just hasn't been a great diamond painting week. Hopefully next week I can get some more time in so that I'm not feeling on the verge of losing my mind. It really does. Diamond painting really does help me keep things mellow in my mind. Without diamond painting, my mind just goes on overdrive. It's really, truly a thing. I don't know what to make of it, honestly. I don't know what my deal is, but it's definitely gotten worse as I've gotten older. One thing that I will share with you quickly that's kind of a little bit of a personal thing. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but part of the reason I'm such an airhead, I wanted to explain this because not that I need to explain it or anything, but I just wanted you to maybe have a better understanding of why I'm kind of an airhead sometimes. I had a fall in 2017. Was it 2016, 2017? Anyway, somewhere around there. I had a fall and hit my head really hard. And that caused me to lose some of my memories. There was a lot more to it, though. I think that I was under a lot of stress. It was when Keith and I were going through our divorce. I was having a really hard time coping with all of that. And I was moving. And so I was just under a great deal of pressure and stress. But that wasn't all that it was. I fell and hit my head really hard. Nobody dared move me. They called the paramedics. And while we were waiting for the paramedics, I don't remember the fall that well. I kind of vaguely remember it, but I don't fully remember it. While we were waiting for the paramedics, it came to my dad was talking to me. It came to my dad's attention that I thought I had dropped Sydney, my Sydney, as a baby. Well, Sydney was 8 years old. And my dad said, "You didn't drop Sydney." And I said, "Where's my baby?" And my dad was like, "What baby?" You know, he couldn't figure out what I was talking about. And anyway, my mom came in after she had called the paramedics. And my dad said, "She's asking about her baby." And my mom said, "What are you talking about, Jen?" And I said, "Did I drop the baby when I fell?" or something like that. I don't remember exactly what I said. But anyway, they took me to the ambulance came and took me to the emergency room. And while I was in the emergency room, my mom stayed back with my kids, and a neighbor that I knew, like a second mom, rode with me because somebody needed to be there with the kids. And my mom had my dad and my aunt also. So my mom's neighbor that I knew really well rode with me in the ambulance, and I vaguely remember that. I mean, they were asking me questions like if I knew the president of the United States. I had no idea. I was so confused. I thought the president of the United States was Obama. I thought he had just taken office, and they were like, "Okay, she's really messed up," because it wasn't. It was President Trump the first time around. And so anyway, I had fallen, and during that time, I had to regain a lot of my memories. It took months. But I was able to get a lot of those memories back. I mean, this is a long story short, basically. But I was able to get a lot of those memories back over the course of several months, and a lot of I was going to say psychiatric help, but he wasn't a psychiatrist. He was a therapist. But anyway, I was going to a therapist, plus I was seeing a brain doctor. What are they called? Anyway, I can't even think of the name. I know there is a correct name for them, but it's escaped me right now. So I was seeing lots of doctors at that time, but my therapist was the main person helping me get those memories back. And I'm going to grab a drink of my water real quick. I still have gaps in my memory. Now, Keith, it was crazy because Keith and I were getting divorced, and I didn't even remember that I had a husband named Keith when the fall happened. So it was really weird because my mom's neighbor was telling me, "Do you remember your husband, Keith?" And I'm like, "Who?" And I had no idea who she was talking about. I was in the emergency room when she told me, actually. And I said, "No, my husband is Alan," who is Allie and Sydney's dad. And they said, "No, you guys have been divorced and you've remarried." I was totally confused. And they finally told my mom's neighbor and my mom when she got there to not even tell me any of the information because I was getting so confused and overwhelmed. So they stopped telling me because they didn't want to cause more stress to me. Well, I was in the hospital for a few days, and I'm telling you what, when I got out of the hospital, I didn't know what it was like to have a teenage daughter. I was so discombobulated from my life. I had no idea what I was doing because I thought Kennedy was 6 years old and that Allie was 3 and that I had a little infant. So to come out and find out that my infant was now 6 years old and I had Allie wasn't a teenager yet, but I had a teenager. It was just crazy. And we were struggling anyway because Kennedy was upset about the divorce. She hadn't wanted us to get a divorce, so she was already struggling with that. And then for her mom to lose all this time and everything, it was rough. But anyway, little by little, the memories came back. I still have big gaps though. I mean, even Keith has noticed it because he'll be telling me something and he's like, you don't remember that? And I said, no, I don't recall that at all. And he's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. But the girls will tell me a lot of the time, you still have really big gaps in your memory. And I'm like, I do? And they said, yeah, we'll tell you things and you just have this blank look on your face like you're so far away because you don't remember what we're talking about. And there, I'll be honest with you, there have been times that they're like, you remember that, right, Mom? And I'm like, uh-huh, yeah, I remember that. Because I get so tired of feeling like I don't know what they're talking about. But anyway, so I joke about myself being an airhead all the time, and I'm not putting myself down. I really, truly am kind of spacey. Ever since that accident, I just feel so, well, it wasn't an accident, it was a fall. But ever since that fall, I just feel like I'm so all over the place, and I just have a harder time kind of recalling information and continue, like, even in my social life. It's not that I lose memories or whatever, but people will say, do you remember when we went to this place? Like when I was at that dinner party the other night, they were all talking about a dinner that we went to several years ago and how much fun it was. And you know what? I recall being there, but I don't remember a darn thing about it. And there was no alcohol involved. Like there was no reason for me. I just still have really bad memory issues. And I didn't have those memory issues before that fall. Isn't that funny how the brain works? So anyway, when I say that I'm an airhead or whatever, just know that there is a reason for it and I'm fully aware of it. I just, what do you do? I mean, I've gotten most of my memories back, but not all of them. Like I said, there's still gaps. We will find things once in a while where the girls will be talking about a memory or something. And I'm like, I don't recall that. Well, Mom, you were there. But my girls know, they know what happened. They know what I went through with that fall and that I had to get those memories back. So it's not like they're thinking, Mom, you're so brain dead sometimes. It's not necessarily that they think that. They're just kind of baffled, as am I sometimes when I can't recall these memories. But for the most part, I remember things now. I mean, I can keep track of my memories currently. I don't lose current time, but it's just certain gaps in my, especially those 8 years that I lost when I fell. I remember for the most part everything, but there are things, like I said, once in a while they'll come up. The other day, the girls were talking about a song that we used to listen to all the time. And, I can't recall that song. I cannot recall it, but they're like, Mom, it's one of your favorite songs. And I'm like, I don't, because it was during that time and during those 8 years, but it's not all music. It's not all, I can recall a lot of music from that period of time, but like I said, every once in a while. So I still have issues where I feel like I'm brain dead or whatever, and I kind of am in some cases. But, therapy really helped me. It's just weird how the mind works. It's kind of interesting. So I see that with my aunt a lot. I've never quite figured out how my aunt's memory works because before her accident, she can't recall a lot of details, but she does remember random things. And what was so funny? We were listening to some music today in the car. I was with Kennedy and Sid, and Kennedy had wanted to go run some errands, and my mom and dad were gone. So I was like, yeah, let's take Sid for a ride in the car. That'd be fun. So we put Sid in the car, and Kennedy was playing Christmas music for her. And there was a song that came on, and Sid said, "Is this Michael Bublé?" And Kennedy and I looked at each other because, holy cow, are you kidding? You know who Michael Bublé is? I mean, it was just crazy. And she does that a lot. She figured out, one day we were listening to a song and she said, "Is that Lady Gaga?" And I'm like, oh my gosh. So, it's just, but she can't recall other things that are basic. And she doesn't remember you know, you can talk to her 30 seconds later. She thinks you just walked in. It's funny. I'll shower her some mornings and I'll go downstairs for just a minute, maybe to get pancake mix out of the storage room or something. I come back up and she's like, well, hi, Jenna. Like, hi, I just showered you, but hi, how are you today? She's so cute. Anyway, we get a kick out of her. She's fun. Yeah. So I was going to try to finish this section, but I feel like this has gone on long enough. So I think I'll just end here. I'm really close though. Isn't this pretty? There are literally no trash drills in this entire kit that I have come across yet. It's really interesting because I'm looking through this bottle. These drills are such good quality. I just have not had any trash at all. I mean, I've not come across any trash. I mean, the only thing I've come across is there might be little flecks of acrylic, or I think these are acrylic drills, but that's it. And that doesn't even happen very often. These drills are perfect. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Please let me know in the comments what you are working on. I would love to hear from you. I have not listened to anything, by the way. I didn't listen to any audiobooks this past week, but I will have hopefully some audiobook reviews to share with you on the next Whip and Chat. Anyway, thank you for watching. Let me know what you listened to or what you worked on while you were listening. I would love to hear from you. And happy Thanksgiving. I hope you're all doing really well. Have a wonderful day with your families or with your loved ones. If you don't have any family or loved ones, I hope you have a wonderful day anyway. Thank you so much. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye. We just got back from Wicked. It is Friday night, and it was such a good movie. Oh my gosh, I loved it. So good. Kennedy cried through the whole thing, and Sydney and I laughed at her and got in trouble. But it was really good. I did tear up a couple times. It was fabulous. Such a good movie. Sydney and I are, you say hi? We are going on a mom and daughter adventure. We're gonna go get something to eat and dessert. We are at a place called Zao, and this is our food. Doesn't that look good? So they're bowls with rice, and you choose a protein, and then you choose a sauce. So we got chicken curry, and then we got pot stickers, and these drinks are lemon lime. They're not tea. Oh, cucumber lime drinks. Fancy schmancy. This place is bougie. Now we are getting dessert, and we're at a place called Crumble. It's Crumble cookies. They are so yummy. I think they're locally owned. I'm not sure. Here are the cookies we brought home. We got some kind of chocolate madness over on the right, peanut butter skillet cookie in right there, chocolate chip, and then blueberry pancake. And then I got banana pudding. I'm gonna give that a try. I've never tried their pudding before, but that's the name of the shop. This computer's running so slow. Mom, I have something I need to tell you, and I'm gonna say it with complete love and honesty. So just know that my heart is in the right place when I tell you this. Are you ready?
No.
I'm sorry.
Hear it.
Well, okay. I'm going to tell you anyway.
No.
I love all the glasses you bought for me.
Oh, that's great.
No, I'm wearing it to Sid's kidney doctor. Look at this cute hat my mom found. Yeah, I'm wearing it. It is a snowman tree with all snowmen at the doctor's office. Isn't that cute? I love it. Look at all these snowmen. I'm obsessed with snow.
Look at, he's on top of it.